So today is day 3 on hope. And we're going to look at 1 Corinthians 13 verses 6 through 8. And you know this is the love passage, but it says, "Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails." I want to focus on that part about love always hopes. I got an email from a colleague in Alabama, and he mentioned how it's such a provocative promise during uncertain times, isn't it? And so what I want us to see today is I want to look at why love and hope are interconnected and why it's important for us to understand how to bring hope and love to the world that we are currently finding ourselves in. And to do this, we have to look at Jesus, because the incarnation is an example for us of certain hope in a hopeless environment. When we look at Jesus' life, we'd be hard-pressed to find a single example of Jesus ever losing hope. And we'd be hard-pressed to find an example of him ever losing love. Despite the fact that his followers abandoned him, the crowd yelled to crucify him, the world had all of its sins put upon him, we never see him losing hope. And we never see him losing love. And perhaps it's because he knew that his kingdom was greater, that he had a better perspective, an eternal perspective, and he lived for a greater kingdom. Because there's no logical, apparent reason for him to immerse himself so deeply in our world that is so hopeless, with as much joy and abandon that he did. And I believe that we must learn something from Jesus today, that because Jesus lived for a bigger kingdom, his hope was not of this world. So in order for us to have hope, we must not place our own hope in anything of this world. We must place our hope in him and in his kingdom, because the world will let us down. People, things, they'll ultimately let us down. We live in a fallen world, and in a fallen world, things are not functioning in the way they were meant to function, but we're not of this world. So we cannot expect the world to provide us with the hope that only God can give, and we cannot expect the world to understand a love as pure as the love that God had for us. But we have the opportunity right now, in this day that we live in, to press physically, relationally, spiritually, mentally, financially, deeper into hopeless situations and into hopeless contexts than ever before. And we need to, because this is where love is located. Jesus went to those places. He didn't stay up high in the heavenlies looking down at the hopeless people. He didn't work for an earthly portfolio. He didn't ask people what their definition of love is. He just experienced hope out of the love that he had. And we've got to quit huddling around, merely dipping our toes in the waves along the seashore. We must plunge into what God is doing, that we might bring love and hope to this broken world.